The smirk bothered me more than the words. If she had yelled, I could have argued back. If she had cried, I might have softened. But she smirked. You don't need to know what I do with my male bestie Fridays. Like it was a joke. Like I was insecure for even asking. We had been married 9 years. No kids yet. She said she wanted to enjoy life first. I respected that. I respected a lot of things. Her freedom, her friendships, her late work events. But this male bestie had started appearing in conversations more often than my own name. A deal. At first, he was just a colleague. Then he became the only one who understands me. Then suddenly Fridays were theirs. Dinner Fridays, movie Fridays, venting about life Fridays. The first few times I asked about it, she gave soft explanations. It's harmless. He's like a brother. You're overthinking. But the smirk, that Friday night when she got dressed in a black dress she'd never worn for me, that changed everything. You don't need to know what I do with my male bestie Fridays, she said, grabbing her purse. The way she said it, deliberate, provoking. I looked at her calmly. You're right, I said. She paused, surprised by my tone. Finally, she muttered, and walked out. But here's the thing about disrespect. Once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. That night, I didn't call her, didn't text, didn't track her location like a paranoid husband. Instead, I made 3 phone calls. The first was to my lawyer. The second was to my financial advisor. The third was to someone she didn't expect, Adil's fiancé. Yes, the male bestie was engaged, something my wife conveniently forgot to mention. I didn't accuse. I didn't rant. I simply introduced myself politely. Hi, I think you deserve to know something about your fiancé's Friday schedule. Silence on the other end. Then I sent her screenshots, photos, timestamps, restaurant reservations booked under Adil's name for 2. She didn't yell, she just said, "Thank you." That was phase 1. Phase 2 required patience. Over the next 2 weeks, I acted normal, calm, pleasant even. She continued her Fridays, but something was different. Her phone buzzed more. She seemed tense. One Friday, she came home earlier than usual. Her makeup was smudged, not from romance, but from crying. What happened? I asked casually. She looked at me suspiciously. Nothing. I raised an eyebrow. Trouble in Bestie Paradise? She didn't answer. 2 days later, it exploded. Adil's fiancée didn't just confront him privately, she confronted him publicly, at a family dinner in front of both families, with printed screenshots. And guess whose name was all over them? My wife's. Apparently, Adil tried to claim it was just friendship. But hotel receipts don't look like friendship, and weekend bookings don't either. His engagement was called off that night. His future in-laws withdrew a business investment they had promised him. And suddenly, Adil wasn't smiling in selfies anymore. He blocked my wife completely. No calls, no texts, no Fridays. That's when she came to me, furious. "You did this!" she screamed. I didn't even pretend confusion. "I didn't do anything," I said calmly. "I just shared information. You had no right." I looked at her steadily. "No right?" I repeated. "You told me I don't need to know what you do on Fridays." She clenched her fists. "That was between us." "No," I corrected her. "It was between you, him, and his fiancée." She looked like she might explode. "You ruined his life." I shrugged lightly. If your relationship was so innocent, why did the truth ruin it? Silence. Her breathing grew heavier. "You're petty," she spat. "No," I said quietly. "I'm precise." That's when she realized something else. I wasn't angry. I wasn't begging. I wasn't threatening. I was detached. And detachment scares people more than rage. Over the next few days, she tried switching tactics, crying. "You embarrassed me. You betrayed my trust." That one almost made me laugh. "Trust?" I said. "You smirked in my face and told me I didn't deserve answers." She looked shaken, because the smirk had been intentional. She wanted power in that moment. She wanted me to feel small. But power flips quickly when consequences arrive. Then came the final step. I handed her divorce papers. She stared at them like they were written in another language. "You're divorcing me over a friendship?" I held her gaze. I'm divorcing you over disrespect. That hit harder. Nothing physical even happened, she insisted. Maybe, I said calmly, but emotional betrayal starts long before physical. Her voice dropped. Where am I supposed to go? That question told me everything. She never thought it would reach this point. She thought I'd tolerate it forever, because I always had. But boundaries don't announce themselves loudly. They simply activate. The divorce process moved quickly. There were no children involved. Assets were divided fairly, but not generously. Adil moved to another city after the broken engagement. His reputation took a hit professionally, too. Turns out, investors don't love drama. And Fridays? They became quiet again. For me, at least. A few months later, I ran into her at a cafe. She looked smaller, less confident, no smirk. She approached carefully. I didn't think you'd actually leave, she admitted. I didn't think you'd actually test me, I replied. She swallowed. Do you ever miss me? I thought about it honestly. I miss who I thought you were. She looked down. That Friday, I was just trying to make you jealous. I gave a small nod. And you succeeded. She looked up hopefully. But jealousy doesn't build respect, I continued. It destroys it. As I walked away, I realized something simple. Revenge isn't screaming. It isn't violence. It isn't chaos. It's letting someone face the full weight of their choices. She smirked because she thought she had control, but control disappears the moment someone decides they're no longer willing to play. And that was my Friday night revenge.